Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Kareem Supreme. It's June 25th, 2021. On this day, 25 years ago, Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt was released. Now check this out. I had never heard of a Jay-Z. At that time, and I knew hip-hop like the back of my hand. I never heard of a Jay-Z. I remember word on the street was this new dude, this new rap cat named Jay-Z had a hot album out. And I'm like, I ain't never heard of him. Now, if I would have had a smartphone back then, I would have Googled him. Now, this was late June 1996. So I had went to a 4th of July picnic, and everybody was talking about this dude named Jay-Z. I'm like, man, I ain't never heard of this dude. And so I had went up to a corner store where they sold bootleg tapes. And me and my homeboy Cha-Cha, we saw our other homeboy Mike. And Mike was like, yo, y'all got to get that new Jay-Z. They sold out in this store. Y'all got to get it when y'all get a chance. We used to buy bootleg tapes back then. It was only like $3 or 2 for $5. And my boy Cha was like, was the shit tight? And Mike was like, yeah, it was tight. And I said, yo, Mike, man, everybody been telling me that. And Mike was like, man, I'm surprised you ain't got it. You usually stay up on shit like that. I was like, I ain't never heard of this dude. So, somebody calling me. So, a couple days after that, second week of July. See, I'm not even thinking about Jay-Z because Nas, It Was Written album that was coming out in July of '96. That's what everybody was waiting on. The reason why is because he had production by Dr. Dre that was going to be on the album. Dr. Dre produced the track, and everybody was waiting for that because Dre had left Death Row, and nobody hadn't heard from him in a while. And Nas over a Dre beat was something that was long awaited. So anyway, I'm thinking about Nas, It Was Written. I wasn't thinking about no fucking Jay-Z. I had never heard of him, wasn't even thinking about him. So then my homeboy John, he came on the block, he had a Walkman on. And I said, what you listening to? He said, Jay-Z. I said, dude, let me hear it. He let me hear the one song, Brooklyn's Finest, featuring Biggie Smalls, and I fell out. I said, yo, let me hold this tape. I just want to dub it. I like that one track. He was like, all right, bet. He was like, I'll come get it tomorrow. So I listened to it all that night. Didn't even dub it because I didn't even have a blank tape. The next day, I didn't see John. Day after that, no John. Four days go by, didn't even hear John, didn't even see him. You know what I mean? So for 4 days straight, I just was listening to that Jay-Z. I just fell out. Now I never saw Jay-Z. We didn't have cable, you know, and I had never saw him at this point. I just knew his voice. You know, I heard his music. I knew his, you know, I just knew his music. Didn't know what he looked like. And excuse me. But the whole month of July, I just played that Reasonable Doubt over and over and over. Brooklyn's Finest. And I noticed he dissed Tupac. I noticed Biggie dissed Tupac on that song. And I was in summer school that summer, and everybody was talking about the diss. He dissed Tupac. Tupac gonna come for his head and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That song, Brooklyn's Finest, just captivated me. Then Politics as Usual. Then he had a song on there called Ain't No Nigga featuring a chick named Foxy Brown. Now, I didn't even know what Foxy Brown looked like at this time. You know what I mean? And that was the thing back then. It took months for you to figure out what somebody looked like, for you to finally see what they look like. You know, so, you know, August, September goes by, October goes by. I'm just playing that Reasonable Doubt and the Nas album, but this is about Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. So that October, my homeboy calls me. He was like, yo, Nas coming here to Rochester. He was like, you know, it was my cousin, Steve, I believe. Rest in peace. It was either him or one of my homeboys. They was like, yo, Nas coming to town, and he's coming with Foxy Brown, Akinelli, and Jay-Z, and Busta Rhymes. And I said, okay, we gonna go. So that November, we went. Now, I had that ticket stub in my wallet for years, probably for like 20 years, maybe 15 or 20 years. I just got rid of it. You know, it seemed like I just got rid of it maybe like 8 years ago. Maybe I had it in my wallet for like 15 years, whatever. So long story short, we get to the concert. They had a bunch of locals performing, you know. It took like an hour and a half to get past them. And then Jay-Z comes out. That was the first time I ever saw Jay-Z. It wasn't in the magazine. It wasn't on TV. It wasn't on the album cover. It wasn't on a poster. It was live. Saw him live. That was the first time I saw him. And I'm like, this dude don't look like the way he sound. I'll never forget, he had on an East 1999 sweatshirt with some blue jeans and some construction Timbs. And the way he was flowing so smooth, and like he wasn't all up on the stage running around acting a fool. You know, he was just, you know, walking slowly back and forth, just spitting. I'm like, yo, this dude is nice, man. I was like, yo, I said to myself right then and there, this dude gonna be around for a long time. And then halfway through his performance, he brought out Akinelli. The song "Put It in Your Mouth" was hot at that time, and it was sung by Akinelli. Put it in your mouth. That was like the number one song, one of the number one songs of the year, and so that captivated everybody. The fact that he brought out Akinelli, that was a surprise, you know. And Jay-Z's show was over with. I was like, man, this dude is gonna be around for a long time. Also, Case was at that concert. Touch Me, Tease Me, Foxy Brown. Foxy Brown came out. Now, I had saw her on a poster eventually. I was like, damn, this is a fine dark-skinned woman. So, but I had no idea she was my age. I was 16 at the time, and so was she. The way she was dressed, she looked a little bit older. But I thought she was a little older. But she came out, and I was like, damn. And when we went backstage, I saw Foxy Brown. She was like maybe like 10 feet in front of me, hugged up with Corrupt from the Dog Pound. Corrupt was there. And Nas was there too. And Nas was with this rapper named AZ. And AZ kept looking at Corrupt funny. I'm like, damn. You know, he kept on like, he was looking at him like he had beef. You know that look when somebody beefing with somebody else. You know, he had that mean ice grill while he was staring at Corrupt. And Corrupt kind of looked shook. You know, he was hugged up with Foxy Brown. He kind of looked shook, but I didn't understand it until later. What it was, I found out, that was the beginning of the East-West Coast beef. And the Dog Pound had made a song called New York, New York. And here's Corrupt in Rochester, New York with these East Coast rappers. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happened. It's just, it was boiling over at that. It was boiling at that point. It got kind of bad within the next coming months. You know what I mean? But, you know, back to the Reasonable Doubt. I played that album maybe for like 6 months straight. From June to, 7 months. From June to January of 97, I just played it nonstop. Then I eventually bought I had the tape and the CD. You know, I would listen to the tape in my Walkman, and I would leave the CD at home, you know, to listen to at home. And I remember when I first got the CD, it had Guns and Money on the CD. But then months later, copies later, you know, they started reissuing a different kind of CD. They had Jay-Z dressed up Big Willie style on the CD. You know, I guess the Guns and the Money was a bad look or whatever. I don't know. But the original CD I had Guns on the CD, and it had images of money. But yeah, Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt, one of my favorite albums of all time. That falls in at least my top 15. There's so many great albums, but that Reasonable Doubt is one of my favorite. It probably falls into my top 10 of the 90s greatest albums. But that was a classic from top to bottom. You had production on there by Clark Kent. You had production on there by DJ Premier. And Jay-Z had a song on there called 22 Twos where he dissed Tupac. He was like, too much West Coast dick licking. And something about Tupac, you know, he performed that live. I don't know if there's a recorded version of it, but you won't hear him dissing Tupac on the album version. I heard him say it live. He was standing like I'm right here by the stage. I'm looking up at Jay-Z while he was dissing Tupac. You know what I mean? And the fact that he said too much West Coast dick licking, because not too many rappers was going at the West Coast like that. Not because they were scared, because they knew how powerful beefs was back then, and the West Coast was taking it too serious. Like Pac had just got killed. You know what I mean? It just, I felt like everybody else. West Coast rappers back then didn't know how to take a hip hop battle. They took it too much. They took it too serious. They wanted to take it to some gang shit. You know, New Yorkers just rap. Yeah, we don't like you. We don't like each other, but we battling this for lyrical supremacy, not to kill somebody. We want to see who got the best lyrics. If you win, you win. If I lose, I lose. I don't want to kill you. But the West Coast, they was different. You know, they doing more than just battle. They want to murk somebody. You know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why East Coast rappers didn't really get into that East-West beef. There was a few East Coast rappers that got in Tupac ass. You know, rappers like King's Son and Biggie dissed him. Jay-Z dissed him a little bit, and a couple other East Coast rappers dissed him a little bit too. But you know, they wasn't really to us. It was just another beef. We didn't know how serious it was until Biggie and Pac got killed. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, this shit. That's not hip hop. That's not what hip hop is all about. Yeah, if we got a beef, we gonna battle it out. We gonna settle it lyrically. Or when I was a kid, if we had beef with another crew, we would break dance to see who could break dance the best. You know what I mean? But all that killing, that shit, I wasn't feeling that. I'm still not feeling it to this day. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just chilling. It look like it's about to rain. Let me get out of here, y'all. Cop that Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt. It's a classic. If you don't got it in your collection, shame on you. Peace.